substantial grounds for believing that there is a real risk that persons sent to Rwanda will be returned to their home countries where they faced persecution or other inhumane treatment when in fact they have a good claim for asylum. In that sense, Rwanda is not a safe third country.
Well, Francesco Rizzuto is the Dean of the School of Law at Liverpool Hope University, and he joins me live from Liverpool. Welcome, Francesco. First of all, as a legal expert yourself, were you surprised at that decision?
No, not entirely surprised, because there was a lot of evidence that there were problems in Rwanda. Obviously the decision itself focused on whether it's safe or not, and the evidence does not support it. It's important to bear in mind, though, that the court said that at the time, at a particular point in time in history, when they were putting the thing in place, that the procedures in Rwanda were not appropriate, could not guarantee the safety of these people. So we've got to be careful. This is a judgment that needs careful reading. I think the government lost. I think those who felt that the policy was wrong, though, by the way, the court made clear that it wasn't really speculating on the correctness of the policy or not. They were clearly simply focused on the law and the European Convention on Human Rights. They mention Article 3, by the way, that the British government is bound by. So it begs the question, if Rwanda gets its procedures right, will the legal requirements be met for it to be a safe country? So, if you like, there's a temporal dimension that we mustn't lose sight of here.
Well, based on what you've just said, the possibility Rwanda might, perhaps change the procedures by which they receive asylum seekers. Also, the fact that this was a 2-to-1 decision. If you were the government now, what would you be looking to appeal? The way that Rwanda deals with the people it receives, or would you be targeting something else based on the 2-to-1 decision?
Well, 2-to-1 decision means that it's not a foregone conclusion that the Supreme Court will go along with the Court of Appeal. If I was the British government, I would press the Rwandan government to make a statement, and by the way, they are already this afternoon, to try and deal with the deficiencies that the ruling points out and to argue that they've remedied them. Because remember, in the period of the last 12 months, at a certain point in time, the procedures were not correct. This is what the court is saying. What's happened subsequently? Simply to say, yes, they are correct and argue the point may not persuade the Supreme Court. So really, it's crucial what happens over the next few months. This is why, to cry victory is a little bit risky. Really, there are other grounds for disputing the policy. There is no doubt in my mind that this policy stands not very well with the Refugee Convention, let alone the European Convention on Human Rights. But we mustn't forget that the European Union appears to be agreeing a policy that makes this kind of possibility, foreseeable, actually, in the European Union. So the water is becoming a little bit murky here. But as I say, the government has made it clear, the British Prime Minister has made it clear, they're going to appeal the decision. It's difficult to see the Supreme Court overturn this decision unless new evidence comes to light that things have changed in Rwanda, if I can put it that simply.
Francesco, really appreciate you coming on and giving us your expertise. Francesco Rizzuto is the Dean of the School of Law at Liverpool Hope University.
Pleasure, thank you.